Well, hello, all my fellow radio enthusiasts. Welcome to North Country Ham. Name's Aaron, KD2RSS. Today I want to do a little video on something that's really piqued my interest lately. I've never done one before, and that's doing a little fox hunting. So in this video I'm going to show you the transmitter that I am building for my club. So hopefully we can do some fox hunts here this year, and I'll show you what I've got. So stick around. Alright, well, before we get too much into this, I wanted to show you something I got in the mail the other day. It's a green envelope, so it blends in. But I went and I ordered, cause something else I'm interested in that I wanted to get involved with is, as you can see, flip it this way so it's rare. I got my photo flag in the mail. I ordered one along with some of the stickers that they had. The POTA and the Parks on the Air little stickers. So I got that in the mail the other day, and something to nice to add to have, and I plan on trying to do some POTA as well. So I've yet to do an activation myself, so that's up and coming as well. A lot of irons in the fire. So I'll set that over here out of the way. So on that note, I definitely don't want to take credit for this. This is a lot of researching and digging through the internet, and I've come across an idea of building a fox hunt transmitter using a HT and an Arduino. And I did watch a video by Red Summit RF. He's got a good video on it. I'll share the link to his video as well as the website for the information where I pulled it from. And that's White Court Amateur Radio is the other good spot for that. Really simple one to put together. I'm just going to show you a quick overview of what I did. I probably won't get into too much of all the soldering and building of the wires and everything, but I wanted to do a little walkthrough anyway. So I'll show you. What I did is I went and I bought some of this stuff on Amazon and in local, so I'll share all the links to what I purchased. But this is what I'm building. Just a 30 caliber ammo can, not real big. It's a plastic one. Sorry about that. It is, it's got the gaskets and stuff in here for watertight. But I went and I purchased small package of little stubbies for the antennas, a little rubber duck antenna. Figured, if I put the radio at the lowest wattage, smaller antenna, maybe I won't put a real strong emitted signal to help kind of make the fox hunt a little more challenging. But that's part of it, along with obviously the Arduino Uno that I picked up, and it comes with a little plastic case, which I actually just screwed it down to a couple pieces of 3/4 inch corner mold that I had in my shop, and I'll show you why I did it that way. But you got the Arduino, got a little 5-volt relay, picked up a battery pack, a little small amp hour battery pack just to power the Arduino, and I'll kind of show you some of this other. I also have the Baofeng UV5R radio and a little adapter here, and I'll show you all the pieces, parts on the overhead cam here in just a second. Let me transition to that. Okay, so you can see you get the UV5R Baofeng, and what I did is I picked up a little SMA, I guess it's a male to male, so it can actually thread this into the Baofeng. So that's on there, and then I picked up an SMA lead that will screw onto this, and I drilled it through the lid, as you can see here, a little bulkhead mount, so it sticks out the top there. So that way, with the gasket here in the lid, it kind of seals it a little bit. But I'll show you something neat here once I get to take this back apart. I took some 1-inch foam that I had, and I cut 2 foam blocks. I'll get this other one out of here. Well, I can't get the second one out, but I cut this out in a shape, and I'll show you. Here's the inside. You can see how I put the foam block in there. You can see this, I've got this glued to the side. What it is you can get the replacement battery straps, the canvas straps, like the gray and black. Well, they come with these 2 clips that you can screw down to something. So what I did, I got these 2 plastic spacers that come with like your TV mounting, TV mounts for the wall mounts. You don't use all those spacers because only certain ones will work with certain TVs. Well, I've got a bunch of these laying around. Excuse me. And I glued the bracket to the spacer and glued it to the side wall of the ammo can. And on this foam, I just chiseled out a small little bit so the radio sets in better. And then you can see here on the second block that I did, I've got it cut out. So basically, what I can do is I can take my radio, and it sits down in that cutout that I did, and the belt clip clips right onto that bracket, so it holds the radio right in there fairly secure. Now, to make this kind of an all-to-go kit, I've also cut out, so I've got the battery pack here, and I made it so it'll set right down right there, so it kind of equals out the weight a little bit. And using the 3/4 round, you can see the 2 grooves that I cut into here, so that way it kind of sets in there and holds that snug. And then you can see where I kind of chiseled out a small little indentation where the relay will just sit. So it all kind of sits there somewhat immobilized, so it's, you know, stays protected. And of course, to make it so it's a take it along, you got a USB plug with the actual little charge plug for the adapter to charge the battery pack to keep it charged up. And I just made it so that kind of sets in right there behind the radio. So that's in there, so the club can just grab it, make sure everything's charged. And then of course you got your USB cord here that goes, that plugs into the battery pack, and then the other end that will plug into the Arduino to power it, and that'll just kind of sit here along the side. So aside from that, with the radio, I'll move this right out of the way, came the ear plug-in pieces, and of course I've got the jumper leads that I'm going to use for wiring the relay to the ear mic here. So I'll use the plug here, and you know, I'll probably cut it down here so there's plenty, strip it back, and then wire the jumpers and everything in, and according to the wiring schematic that the White Court Amateur Radio Club has on it. So on Charlie's video, he's got a really good breakdown of how he tested for his, you know, his resistance and whatnot, and make sure which wire in here gets soldered to which jumper color you're going to use, and then plug it into the Arduino. And I'll kind of share that with you here on the desktop. Let me get to my... Alright, you go on White Quart Amateur Radio's website here, and this is where a lot of different ones have used, and they've got all the links to do everything. And see, to pull down the Arduino files, but here's the schematic for the Arduino, and you'll see this on Charlie Red's video, Red Summit RF, on how to basically, you're going to want to, when you cut the wires and trim them back so you can solder, you're going to want to find which wire corresponds to this section on the plug, and solder the black wire to it, so that way you can connect it here to the middle spot on the relay. And then you'll want to find which wire corresponds to this section of the plug, and that way you can solder a wire into it. This is purple. I don't have a purple, so I was going to use orange myself, and it goes here into the AO. And then you're going to want to solder a red wire to the wire lead corresponding to this section of the plug, and then a blue to this section of the plug. And you know, essentially you're going to connect it to this wire schematic. The blue wire goes into port 5, black wire goes into the center, the red wire goes into, when you're looking at your Arduino, the far right screw. And then down here you'll have a red coming off this prong to the 5 volt, off from your center ground to the ground spot here. And then what I'm going to use, a yellow wire off from here going to port GPI pin 7. So that's how I'm going to do it. Now, of course, I planned on printing a copy of this and corresponding this color wire to what color I used for this pin, so that way if it gets unplugged, whoever in the club can look at it and plug it back together where it needs to go. But that's my plan for what I'm going to do, and I'll have it just basically written on here: blue wire equals whatever color wire I've got for a jumper to use. I don't have, on this relay it's just the 3 pins sticking up. I don't have a 3-pin wire ribbon harness that plugs into it. I did order basically a small kit to build your own. That way I can build my own ribbon little, instead of soldering a wire individually in each pin. That's the only reason why I'm not actually going to try to hook it up tonight. Possibly I'll redo some and edit in some more if I'm able to get it in time. But that's the schematic for it. And here's their download for their Arduino files. You know, the sketch, and I'll show you. Well, I just hit it again to download it, but I'll show you on my, I put a file in here on my ham radio stuff. Here's the actual Fox Hunt sketch that comes down, and I extracted it all. And here's what you're going to see. You get your sketch 1 and a DTMF. And you go into sketch 1. And you open it up. That's what this is the file you'll want to install on your Arduino. And one key point, and you'll see on the string text down here and the Easter egg text, you'll want to make sure you put either your call sign, or what I put on here is my club's call sign that we use for field days and everything else. It's the registered call sign for our club. So that's what I've got in here, and I did this on both files. This is what they call the on-off. You power up the Arduino, and it starts broadcasting this. um, or when you turn it off, it stops. There's also a DTMF sketch in here, and I'll open this up and show you. And this is the DTMF. So when you hit a DTMF code on your radio, it'll start the broadcast, and when you hit a different DTMF code, it stops your broadcast. And I also did the same thing here, as I put in the call sign that we wanted. I changed it to that and saved it. So I've got that. I do want to show you in here just the website, which I'll also share in the description. You can see I got a lot of websites that I use. This is where you'll want to go to get the software downloaded to your computer for Arduino to run the IDE environment. And I just downloaded the Windows 7 and newer. You hit that and it kind of brings you here. You can download or contribute and download. And when you hit download, it'll download and install it on your computer. And what you can see, I've got it right here. So when you open that, it opens up the IDE environment. And this is where, when you plug the Arduino with the USB into your computer, you basically can click the button here and upload this into the Arduino to program it. And I've already done that on the Arduino I've got. So really, what I've got left to do for the build is to do the wiring on the mic jack plug, and the Fox transmitter is done. So it's really quick and relatively easy to do. Probably the soldering on the small wires here to the jumper wires is going to be the more difficult thing to do. Alright, so just to show you a little bit, I got my little voltmeter here set to ohms. Here's the little plug here, and I've stripped the wires. I left a little bit of color on there, but I cleaned it off back, and I plan on, once I solder it, putting a little heat shrink on here on each one, put it all together, a little bigger piece, just so it's nice and clean. But you can see I got the 4 wires there. So first one I want to do is the connection here at the far tip. So I do this one. I don't have the little plugs, so it's tough. Make a connection. Nothing on that one. Nothing. Just double checking. There we go. So that's going to be my wire. That I'm going to do to the black, and repeat the same thing for each of them. So here's my black wire. do a little check just to make sure here. So, yes. There we go. Alright, well, I wanted to show a finished off product of it, of the transmitter, now that it's complete and operational. I shoot a overhead shot showing you the couple of the final touches. I did get the wiring connectors that I wanted to do my own 3-wire ribbon, and then I've got it up and running, so I'll do a quick shot of that. So one sec here. Alright, so you can see the finished Fox box. Gonna open it up here. You'll see what I've got inside. Radio still connected, and on the relay, see if I can, you can see here on the relay, it's got its own little wire harness now. And all you have to do, plug in the power, and it's already transmitting. And just to show you, I'll turn the radio here I've got on. Frequency mode. And there you go. And you can see the light will flash when it's doing the tone. So it's pretty simple, as you can see how I run the wire leads on it. So there we go, an operational transmitter for fox hunting. So you can see everything kind of tucks in here nice. Still got the charger in here for the battery pack, and you know, the only thing that's not in the box is the actual plug-in wall charger for the radio. But everything else is self-contained and ready to go for a fox hunt. The only thing I might change up is program it to do DTMF, start and finish. So you can see it just started on for another transmit. I've turned my other radio off, but you can see the solid yellow light here. Now it's transmitting the CW for the call sign, come find me signal, so you can find it. So there we go. And you can see here for the off from the mic, you can see where got all the wires put in here and heat shrunk together. Each one of these individually's got a little bit of heat shrink on it, and then I just put all 4 of them together to make it a little more stable, so it doesn't and I just threw the radio manual in here to have it, but like I said I was going to do, I've got the diagram here off from the website, and I just put on there the colors that I've got. You know, the blue wire I do have is blue, the red is red, black is black, yellow, green, red, and orange. So that way, if for some reason some of it comes undone, anybody can just pull the diagram and plug it all back together. So I will unplug it, turn the radio off, and there we go. So completed Fox box, ready to go. So I hope everybody found this relatively simple. I know I did to do it. I haven't done a lot of soldering or small wiring like that. This is all kind of a learning curve for myself a little bit, but I'm enjoying doing it, and I hope you find some benefit in the video. So I appreciate you watching. So with that, I'll say 7-3 and get on the air.